I hate to do this to you, Josh, but I have to make a crinkling sound.
You certainly do.
And I didn't eat anything, but I'll be okay. I'll eat at the break. Do you
want to eat something? Or are you going to worry about eating?
No. If I start to get really bad...
How do we do? Is there a signal?
No, I think we can talk openly about food. This is the worst thing. Why don't you... Okay, look, let's just start we have technically started, right?
I guess somewhere in there we did, yeah.
Yeah. Let me take my stuff out of the crinkling section.
After the job negotiation. And before...
You've lost the will to live?
Before the dive into your bag, I think we started.
Okay.
He just dumped out a bag on the table. See that, I spent all this time literally clearing this table, and now he's dumped it, and it looks like my desk now.
Yeah, but that's because it's like, if we ever go to film it, because you remember that show, I always forget the name of the show, it was Peter Guber and the guy who used to run the Hollywood Reporter, or...
I think the prop people can do better than the bag of coins. What is the bag of coins?
Okay, well, let's say you're a Columbo. Let's say I was found dead.
Okay.
What would you imagine, which I'm not saying you're hoping for.
Okay, what's in there with it?
What would you be thinking this is for?
Okay, this is some sort of pipe.
Yeah, I love that
very
pipe.
Cool pipe, yeah.
Yeah, because it hides pop.
I see how it happens.
Right, and then there's one underneath there, too.
Yeah.
So that's that.
The bag of coins is so you can wrap it up in your tiny hands and punch someone?
No, it's for my car, so I can park it near my mailbox place.
Oh, okay.
Almost broke the fucking table. And then I have various things to eat. You
got like 900 calories worth of bars there, it looks like.
Yeah, but I didn't. But the thing is, I should have eaten beforehand. But I was so busy not getting here on time. It's very hard when you don't follow your obligations, fulfill them.
You did okay.
I did okay tonight. 9:03. I didn't even look. 9:04 maybe.
Somewhere in there.
I have a lot of corrections. Not corrections, but I have some updates about the music because I totally forgot what the music was. So we can do that now.
Let's do that at music time.
Yeah. Why do I have it in my mind that's what we should lead with?
But good feedback on In the USA, I felt, has come in.
I didn't look at all the things, but I was afraid. No, it seemed nice. It was exciting for me.
Our people are nice.
They are people. They are nice people. And the song that I'm going to do this week, very excited with it.
The song I'm going to do.
Yeah. Wait.
That I did 40 years ago.
Let me tell you something. How about these people who are one-hit wonders, or what's my point? How about these people who what if I'm a late bloomer? Who cares? No one's buying this. They could buy this, though. That's where you and I are different. I always have a dream in my heart that I could be a rock star. You're like, I just play music. I don't want to be a rock star. And I say, I want to play music only to be a rock star, right. And I'll settle for it just being a disappointing experience.
That's why I've been playing it these past 20 years, and you haven't.
Whoa, now all of a sudden someone's measuring how much time they play their instruments. Wow. And when I say play my instrument, I mean masturbate.
When's the last time you played your guitar?
Well, that's a bad thing to ask. I think it's about 6 months ago. And I see where it is, too. It's right in the closet where it's... Susan says I should hang it on I like to hang it on the wall.
Yeah.
Do you have that situation?
I have it on a stand by my desk.
Good. That's what I want.
And I just got a new one for my birthday.
Oh, is this a challenge? Because you put your album out, now you got your music going?
I got a release date for my album, too.
What date is it?
July 12th.
What are the odds that that's exactly when my...
Pre-sale, July 1st.
What does that mean?
And I'll be revisiting those dates in the next
Are you going to be plugging them?
I will be.
I never heard of that.
I'm not allowed to tweet about it, because I can only tweet like when the pre-release,
well,
the pre-order happens.
What will happen? What was the worst that could...
I don't want to alienate these nice people.
Why are you hurting these
can
nice
I talk
people?
about it on the podcast? It goes, just they don't like to do the social media unless it's actionable.
Oh, I see. It's like
I'm tipping my marketing hand.
Really? Isn't that their marketing hand? I don't know. I was going to say something.
It's our marketing hand.
Your marketing. But what's the point of not to put it down, but isn't a pre-sale usually for something that I don't know what it means? They do it for books too. I don't understand.
They do it for everything now.
What's the point? What's the point of it in general, not in terms of yours?
I don't know.
Oh,
I honestly don't know.
I think what they do is you're supposed to say if you get to the pre-sale, you get like a spinner, a plate spinner.
Well, no, but I think it helps with the charting.
Ooh.
But I don't know.
I don't know. Why are you alienating me with all the lingo? Charting. That's right. Charting is something they actually say. Did it chart? I hate.
You're having this conversation with yourself.
No, I am.
You went from mocking me to defending me without me speaking.
Yeah, that's what they call it, charting. But it's still ridiculous.
As opposed to sharding.
I knew you were going to get in that area. That's bad. Shards? Shards of things.
Sure.
Okay. Good. See, I can clean it up.
That come out when you shit your pants.
All right, look. Those people who want dirty Twitter, a bathroom Twitter, you're going to have to get a different way into the show, a different portal. I don't know. Pick it up. Pick up the slack. I fucked it up. I screwed up the show. Pick it up. Say something like, hey, welcome to the show, something.
Nah, I'm not going to say that.
I'd like to say that. Hey, welcome to the show.
Hi, everyone. See how I snapped into it?
What a week it's been, huh?
It has been a week. Was it your 17th anniversary yesterday?
It was my 17th anniversary yesterday, May 26th.
Nice.
And
I know this.
How come?
Because I was reading an article yesterday that said it's the 17th anniversary of Robert Horry's shot over the Sacramento Kings for the Lakers. A shot which I remember hearing the cheer for from the bar during your wedding ceremony.
Oh, I can't even believe that.
So I always associate that shot with your wedding.
Was that Game 6 of that series?
I think it was Game 6 in Sacramento, yeah.
So what you're telling me, and for our Sacramento listeners, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but you have not won a title. Beep, 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 make them feel bad. Woo-hoo.
But your biggest basketball wound, can be salved by the fact that it's the date that also commemorates Andy's greatest happiness.
That is nice. It's very nice. Are you talking about for people in Sacramento?
Yes.
I already forgot about them.
Wow.
But I'm all over this Toronto thing. I am excited about Toronto. First of all, I'm a very knowledgeable basketball enthusiast.
Mm-hmm.
Leonard.
Yeah.
Number 2.
Yeah.
That's how you know someone doesn't know a lot. Leonard, number 2, right? That guy's great. 2 Corinthians. So, what do you think as a prognosticator, as someone who handicaps, as someone who has their pulse on a basketball player's groin?
Wow.
This is a little bit better than Groucho Marx stuff.
Can't do shit jokes, but take a little walk around front and everything's fine.
Don't you see how I bury it? I bury the groin.
If I had to bet on the series, I would bet on Golden State.
Yeah.
But I think Kawhi Leonard's got something special going.
This guy, first of all, his first name...
I think it also depends if Kevin Durant comes back with any strength.
Oh, wait a second. See,
if he comes back, and if he comes back with any strength.
Who's injured?
Kevin Durant.
And what team is he on?
He's on the Golden State.
Oh!
And he's kind of like the best player in
so
the
then
NBA.
Screw them. They don't have a chance.
No, they have a real chance.
But why do they have a chance when that's because they're that stack. The stack is
this team already won a championship without Kevin Durant. So.
Oh, he was added this year or last year?
This is his third season.
Why don't
they've won championships all the seasons?
Well, why don't
they're better with him, but they're capable of winning without him.
Why don't the other teams buy these players or offer money for these players? Or they all want to go, I want to go where the winners are. Is that what it is? Is it that simple?
Sure.
Well, how come Shaq didn't go? It's not Shaq.
For the sake of how come Shaq didn't win?
No, I always mix up Shaq with LeBron, which is just stupid.
Yeah.
But how come LeBron didn't go to Golden State to ensure like a thing?
Because they already had Kevin Durant.
Oh, that's right. That's 2.
And they had neither a vacancy nor money to pay a 5th superstar.
I was remembering that they used to have super groups.
Yes.
One of which was Blind Faith. I was reading an article about it. And everyone, like Tom Sharpling and people were talking about how great that Blind Faith album is. I don't know if I remember that. I think I know the individual songs on it.
Yeah, I know some of them. But I mix it up with Traffic and...
Right. But they were called supergroups almost, but were they really arranged by the label?
Companies?
Maybe there was,
I don't know. I don't know if they were or not. I know that they had to make arrangements with the record labels for those things to come together.
Also, it's indicative of how popular music was back then and what a hit it was that you could just go ahead and say supergroup and people went, yes, I want that.
Right.
Now, what would a supergroup be?
Well,
one artist.
Well, now it's like most tracks are featuring
Yes, and sampling.
Which makes it a mini. That's a different thing.
That's a different thing, Andy. Do they ever pay for sampling? Did that ever get settled in a court case?
Yeah, there's generally credits given.
Okay. Credits?
Well, a writing credit equals money.
Money, right. But for years they tried to skirt it. Because it would seem like they'd say, I like this song. I also liked it when it was Candy by is that a song? Candy by, forget it. Isn't it bad that my reference...
This has been Half Commentary with Andy Kindler.
It's sad when old references found me. You know what I mean? I could see how the current reference... What is it? Because I always had like Every Mother's Son, 1910 Fruit Gum Company.
Yeah. Both good references.
Both good one hit, both good references. People go, I remember that. It's reminiscent, man, kind of comedy.
Right.
I know I took us off the track, which is why they call it Thought Spiral.
Right.
That's not why.
Way to play the premise.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just helping the goal of the show. But were we talking about anything?
We started with your music and went down the hill. So
that you were, if you had to do a part where you were told to stammer, that would have been it right there.
That was my
because you did it like
Jake Johansson moment.
I had to. I can't do Jake Johansson. Can you do him?
No, not more than I just did.
No, I'm doing that's not. That's not. That's the guy from.
That's from Car 54. That's
no.
Joey Ross, I think.
Steve Higgins used to do. Steve Higgins used to do a good Bill Daly.
Yeah.
Who did he just recently pass on?
I think he did.
I miss him already. And Tim Conway. These
Also
people,
dead, yes.
Funny people passing on, seems to have more an effect on me. You know, it's interestingly enough. I'm not on anything. I feel like I'm on something.
Yeah.
Well, I did smoke pot at some point. I'm not stupid.
I'm not a monster.
I'm not a monster. When you say cut back on my pot, you don't mean like during the day, right?
No. Did you do anything for your anniversary?
We had a lot of plans. We wanted to go to see the Rauschenberg exhibit.
Yeah.
At LAC. Well, first of all, we wanted to go to the Getty because I've never been to the Getty. My wife has been to the Getty, and I've never been there. And I know it's supposed to be a beautiful museum.
It's a beautiful museum, but I don't like their collection all that much,
right.
And I don't love the amount of. I mean, it's a sparse amount of art. I always find there.
Well, I would go there just for the like. Having
it's a
never
great place
been
to
there.
hang, yeah.
But we did look at the current exhibits, and there was nothing that made us go, we got to go see.
Right.
But Rauschenberg, Susan loves Rauschenberg, and I also think and it's a whole like a thing at LACMA where it's a whole like a quarter mile
a circle gesture.
Yeah, quarter mile. It's like a quarter mile one
like
piece.
a Rauschenberg hike.
It's like a Rauschenberg hike with a mural, and it's I don't describe things well.
It sounds kind of Christo-y to me. I don't know.
It's not Christo-y because these are actual things like that come off the wall. But they form a long hike.
Gotcha.
Quarter mile. You think I'm good enough now to write for the New Yorker?
I think so. You're speaking in blurbs.
I read an article about ecstasy that was very cool in the New Yorker.
Yeah.
And I had not read much stuff about ecstasy in a long time, and I realized that when I did ecstasy in the 80s, I was always telling people it was the wrong time period because I guess I didn't want to admit. Not that I didn't want to admit that I go back that far, but it didn't seem reasonable. But I was doing ecstasy now that I realize in 84, 85, and 86, and that was the really good legal ecstasy that was made in Texas. People got it in Texas. They got it in different places. Then it was made illegal. Quickly.
So you finally found the thing that you were ahead of the era with?
Not ahead of the era. It was that I was right in with the era. It wasn't like I was the first person to discover it, but they were going, have you tried this? And I said, I'd like to. And I had a friend that I did a lot of it with back then. Not a girlfriend, but a lady friend. And I'm not going to bring her into it because she doesn't need to.
And did you call it ecstasy back then? What did you call it?
Yes, it was called ecstasy. And also, now that I read this article, I remember that it was called Adam at one point as a nickname for its Edenic properties.
Probably because it's MDMA and those letters spell Adam when they're scrambled.
This article does not say that, although I have, now that you say that, I've heard that theory before. MDMA scrambles into Adam.
Something like that.
Right. But also, a dealer called it ecstasy, and the name took off from and it's also called an empathogen.
Yeah.
Blowhardy on drugs. Blowhardy on drugs. Actually, Josh, psilocybin is the active ingredient that's in the whole mushroom, and many people blowhardy on drugs. You know, in the 30s, it was called peyote, but it really wasn't peyote. It was ayahuasca. Blowhardy goes back in time. Blowhardy on drugs.
I love it.
People make mistakes. They think it's opium, but it's actually
baking soda.
You missed all those. Thank God you missed a lot of those time periods. Well, mate, you could have been doing cocaine, right? Not really.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I was around it a few times, but it wasn't prevalent at all in my time.
Which I think the time was late 70s, early 80s through the early, maybe till the money ran out?
I mean, I started hanging out in nightclubs and with grown-ups in like 1987.
They're still doing it. They're still doing it. They're paying.
Yeah, but I think I've said before, that was right. That was the time. By that time, people started ducking into bathrooms to do it more. It wasn't like a lay out a rail at a party drug anymore.
There was not any
At least
of
not
that.
my parties.
No, I never. No, I did have parties though where I had boogie nights type experiences where like a guy, the guy would just kept giving lines and you eventually you're gonna die.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that's over.
Phew.
But ecstasy, they're bringing it back for psychotherapy too.
I just did it the once.
Oh, that's not the one. That's not the mushroom story though, right?
No, it's the Canada post Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell dinner story.
How did it feel? It
was good, and then I was bored. Then I was ready for it to be over, and it still had a few hours to go. And I was thirsty.
Thirsty is one of the things that you have to be very careful about. So what happened to you?
But since I have no sense of abandon, it's not like I'm like, all right.
Well, you do have a sense of abandon.
Not so much.
Not right. I was just trying to say. Well, you like to laugh.
I do.
Yeah, but
I'm selective.
If you weren't have a sense of abandon, you wouldn't even do these things at all. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not like a square.
I have a sense of adventure, I would say, but I don't have a sense of fully giving myself over to an experience.
I bet they could give you enough LSD
Probably.
to have you flying around the room like a cupcake.
But maybe not.
Like a cupcake.
Probably, but maybe not.
I tweeted that our show dropped like a flightless bird, and I was very proud of flightless bird. I think flightless bird is a funny reference.
Yeah.
Because it does to me. I think if I was a bird, I would be a flightless bird. And I'm not trying to pitch it like I've had a rough life.
Right.
But I just feel like I wanted to be LeBron James, or I wanted to be...
But instead, you're Opus.
Opus?
Yes.
What's that?
The penguin from Bloom County.
Oh, I don't know that.
Really?
Bloom County's pretty good, right?
It was, yeah. I mean, he's doing it again online, but in its glory days, yeah, it was a great strip.
I never got into that. I'm not saying it like a sexual fetish, but I just never...
Yeah.
I got into Doonesbury a little bit, but I haven't never loved that much, except for Peanuts or a couple other things, the strip comics.
Yeah. I think Doonesbury had its day for sure.
Yeah, he was very funny.
It felt like a vital sort of part of the conversation.
And he was married to Jane Pauley, so I used to like to think about
Doonesbury was the Daily Show for 20 years.
That's absolutely right. Because it was a daily strip, too, right?
Yeah.
That was your father's Daily Show.
Right.
There is no Daily Show now in terms of popularity, I don't think. Do you?
Not in terms of being a major part of the conversation, but we don't, we're 18 months away from an election, so we'll see what...
Is there an election coming up?
Just on the calendar, you won't know yet, because it's fully 18 months away. Why would we be hearing about it?
Well, I stopped watching less. I watched a lot less this week because I really can't. I mean, you say you're not going to watch it and then you do.
Yeah.
Well, it was really starting to drive me crazy, especially this discussion about, hey, the Democrats don't agree. What is this Democrat? It's like I hate that horse race. It's like, who cares? Okay, you're going to argue for an hour about when you should start the impeachment on a cable news show?
Right.
And so that's why I stopped watching, because I could see by your reaction to that the subject matter is boring, and me reporting back on it is boring. So me thinking I had a big breakthrough is not necessarily true, although I've watched Hannity a couple of times, and that's not you can't win with that.
No.
I thought it'd be funny to watch it.
No, you can't watch it with any irony anymore.
No. He's just like, put this guy in jail. This guy's a...
No, Trump ruined all that.
Trump ended everything. He might end the world, but we don't think so. We have inside information.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Because I think Stephen Miller would talk him back from the... You know who would talk him back? Michael Bolton. His... Do you mention the day that he woke up and realized it was not Michael Bolton who was in charge of the... That to me is sad. When you say Michael Bolton, it's like that's a worse screw up than a million screw ups because it just indicates how you think about life.
Huh?
Oh, like that he can't think of a Michael Bolton. Or, he has that's the way he knows about things is from TV. If you could make a TV show that you could get him involved with, and then get him really into it. I love you, Donald. I love you. Oh, Donald, you're the best. You know what you should do? Resign. No?
I can't.
How could you comment?
Your monologue.
Yeah, can't you yes end it? You can't yes end it?
I got nothing. No
well, obviously I had nothing. Now, how are you feeling now these days?
I'm feeling very well. I'm officially cancer-free for 5+ years now. And scans are all good.
That is great news.
Thank you very much.
If we had a regular radio show, we'd play one of those, stings.
Yes.
Or an old guy laughing.
Or the Rocky and Bullwinkle Village.
Ooh! That is fantastic news.
Yeah, I feel very good about it. And
you did a good job with it, I would say, with avoiding getting ill.
Thank you, yes. I'm proud of my...
You owe it to your team?
My team guided me through the minefield that was cancer recurrence. For the
I'm
last
very
5
happy
years.
that you're well.
But as a doctor says, well, 10's better. So...
Yeah, the doctor, the doctors in general, their default position is being, let's not get you
You rarely
excited.
find a surgeon accused of irrational exuberance.
I love that you're using irrational exuberance again after, name is it Fleischman? What is his
Greenspan?
name? Yeah, after he tried to, that's his excuse for why. See, a lot of the listeners might not, I don't know if you call them listeners or people who just, this is the type of thing, is it like a shopping show? Like you're shopping, you put it on, you're waiting for a dentist, this is a nice show.
Or you want to simulate the dentist.
You want to simulate a dentist? You're making an appointment for a dentist, you want to see, how much should I have Novocaine? Let me listen to their show for a little while.
Right.
Are we rocketing up the charts viewer, listener-wise?
Oh, yeah.
I think so.
Constantly.
I think so. And I don't want to name drop. I saw Mr. Tom Papa today in a supermarket.
Yeah.
And it was good to see him. I had a good set with him.
Yeah.
His wife was there.
Yeah.
I had a good set. He had a good set. Boom. Boom. Anytime I cut off a conversation before other people do, it's a win.
Yeah.
Because it's always been...
Did you go with, I have ice cream?
Oh, my God. That got me to thinking about how much I'm fantasizing when we have our new thing.
Our new
thing opens
grocery
up.
store. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm kind of fantasizing about it, too.
Oh, I hope there's a sky walkway.
Yes, to your place.
So I don't have to be... Because now, when you lived in Minneapolis, did you use the sky walkways or you left way before...
No, they were there since the early 70s. Yeah, yes, I did.
And
it's way better than going outside when it's 30 below.
I know. I think that they... I had something to say about Minneapolis. No, nothing good.
Yeah.
What time? How are we doing on time? Do we have any station IDs to do?
Yes. This is Josh's house.
I have never looked at the clock and less time went by. I swear to God.
Did you really think we'd been here an hour?
Oh, yeah. I thought we were rocking and a rolling.
Wow.
Rocking and a rolling.
So I had a good week. I had started with the birthday as we...
That's right.
That was good.
Was I one of the first birthday greetings? Who cares, Andy?
Yes, Andy. You were the very first person.
You were the best.
You were, yeah.
Did you decide what to do?
I went to lunch with Joel Madison at Brent's Deli, which was delicious.
Ooh.
And then Allison got me the guitar when I got home.
What did you get?
I don't know if I want to say it. 'Cause
don't say
people
it.
will ruin it, but it's a really nice one, and I love it.
What do you mean they'll ruin it? They'll say that's not good?
It's like saying, when you go to Philadelphia, and I said, I had a great cheesesteak. Where'd you get it? Pat's. Oh, you should have gone to Bedford.
Yeah, and you don't want people weighing
I don't
in.
tell people where I eat pizza in Chicago when I'm there either.
You don't want any of it. You avoid all of those topics.
But I'm super happy with it, and she picked it out, and it's.
She picked it out like you got it sight unseen?
Yeah.
Oh, well, she's a musician.
Yeah, that helped. But but she picked a really good one. She picked a better one than, in terms of how it plays, than the ones I was looking at. So.
Well, that's amazing. I mean, was part of the deal that you could bring it back, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Because you can't settle on it. You can't have a guitar you don't want to have forever.
No, I really like it.
With hard action.
Yes. It says very easy action.
What are you using? Medium strings? What do you got going? What are you slinging over there?
I use a medium string and a medium pick.
That's the only way to go with an acoustic guitar. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
I don't like that
If
feeling.
I had touch, I would play with light strings, but I don't.
Oh, they call me slow hand when I'm picking up checks,
Yeah.
and they call me the touch master. And when it comes to guitar,
The
touch master.
When you're in an office environment.
When I'm in an office environment, it's not appropriate. Andy Kindler's coming in to talk about his
The
contract.
touch master?
Oh, God.
Oh, Jesus.
See how we do bits?
Uh-huh.
And they say we don't.
No, they do.
Aha!
Oh, the fun. And then that night, I had donuts for dinner, and I enjoyed it a great deal.
You did?
I
Like
did.
what kind of donuts? Voodoo?
Nope, just Dunkin' Donuts delivered.
Oh, no, that's a little... What is this now? Is this a Postmate situation?
This was a DoorDash situation.
They just go and you just order from the donut
I ordered
place.
a dozen donuts.
And when the guy
And we
came
had donuts for dinner for my birthday, and it was delicious.
I can't even believe it.
It was fantastic.
Is it really fantastic, or was it fantastic the third donut in?
I stopped after 3.
Oh.
We didn't finish the dozen, but we
you-
had a dozen from which to select.
Oh, were there different types of donuts?
Oh, yes, you get to pick each one.
Oh, I thought you would
Yeah.
be.
No, you get to hand select.
Is there
via the
any
computer.
tips you have donut wise that?
The Boston cream was quite good. It's like a
How do you
like
rate
an
Dunkin'?
eclair.
How do you rate Dunkin' Donuts?
I'd put it in the, I wouldn't put it in the pantheon of donuts, but when you want something stupid on your birthday, it delivered, literally.
Well, were you into the craze? I was into this craze at one point. It was what were they called?
Krispy Kremes?
Yeah, and I only wanted that one donut, and I only wanted it hot out of the schmeckle.
Right. And they're great.
They are.
But if you eat a third one, you're sick.
I didn't know that.
That was my threshold with that. 2 of them were great. 3 was always a mistake.
Well, that's the way I'm with Red Bulls.
Yeah.
2's a mistake, though. If you're
2 is
listening,
a mistake with Red Bulls, I think, too.
I have never had a good experience with the second Red Bull. There's never been a show that's like, oh, you got to stay up now for this. You really have to stay up for this 10 o'clock show.
I don't know that I've ever finished a Red Bull.
You can't. They taste horrible.
Yes.
They taste disgusting. They do.
Thought Spirals brought to you by Red Bull.
Bye Red Bull. Hey everybody. Hey, you got to drink something. I used to do a whole bit on that. I don't want to launch into it, but I would if you felt like
I know
it would
you
be
would. I know
3
you
minutes
would.
of solid club comedy. Yes, it's terrible tasting, and even if it tasted good, it's still at some point taurine or whatever the thing has. But it works. It works when you first do it, but I don't find it works anymore. Red Bulls.
Yeah.
It works if I'm really tired, too. If you had to say what kind of anecdote would make someone sleepy more quick, would it be about coffee? Or would it be that whole thing Red Bull, what I like to call hunk?
I think the Red Bull is more alienating because it's supposed to be the irony of it being so boring.
Why is that ironic?
Because Red Bull's supposed to lift you up and give you energy, and yet the story keeps
Oddly enough.
pounding on you and dragging you down. And
Right. That's what's disappointing about it. I don't know what I said there. Everything until that last sentence, I don't want to say.
It was fluid.
I don't want to say I was in the moment,
Right.
but I certainly could see the moment from where I am.
Do you think there might be a problem if the fact that you praise yourself for being coherent?
Hey, little things. I tell people in my new book, love yourself even if you don't deserve it, it's called.
Yeah.
And little things. Did you eat a cookie properly? Boom.
Hey, did you see how I did that?
And then have a glass and reward yourself. Have a glass of milk.
And a cookie.
And we'll be back. It's 62 degrees.
Wow.
In the valley.
It's freezing.
In the valley. This one comes from Coldwater Canyon. Why would the request have to come from a particular area? I do like when I'm starting to get annoyed at myself.
Okay,
Pull
good.
back.
Good.
Pull back time. So your health is good.
Well, I felt very productive last week. I didn't have cancer. I thought that was very productive. I got some documentary work done. I got the album wrapped up with a release date. It was all very
great.
Very few weeks recently where I feel like, all right, business was attended to.
Is that the voice you get?
Yeah,
I don't like that voice at all.
Voice. Oh yeah.
If you like ShipStation, if you like ShipStation.
Is that?
I don't know.
Is that the same guy?
I'm sorry. It is kind of.
If you like ShipStation.
Yeah, that's because they have two things: Stamps.com, and they have another thing for shipping, like as if you're a small business. I guess people are a small business. How many small businesses are listening to these podcasts? How many ZipRecruiter? How many people are listening to a podcast and they haven't hired somebody yet for something? Does that sound
apparently some?
I know there is because there's money and there's people who headhunting and I don't even know what that is. People make money recommending.
Thanks to the Trump economy, Andy.
Is there a lot of money?
There's a lot of jobs to be filled.
Neither one of us are economists, but don't you predict that there's going to be like a lot of bankruptcies soon from the Chinese tariffs? Something's going to happen bad this summer. I'm rooting for bad economics to get that.
See, but you don't want to say that out loud.
I don't want to say that. No.
Not because you'll jinx it, but because it can be used as ammo against you. Oh, see, they don't even want their country to do well. They hate them so much.
It's true. It's true. But I think if you scratch the surface with me, I'm a pretty horrible human being underneath it. It's really very selfish.
No. Deep down, you're a good person. There's just a layer of horrible human being.
That's right.
Between the surface and the good.
Yes, and a layer that's not so easy to rub out.
Yeah, it's not like a candy shell. It's like more like a rind.
Some people say that my shell is almost built into my skin system. That's how horrible I am.
Wow.
I'm bantering with you. I'm going to say something. I haven't dropped the ball. Yes. Have I brought it into a different sport? Have I kicked it? I'm starting to get hungry. Oh my God.
He just glanced at his food.
I'm not going to take the food out yet. Oh, do you think it's time for us to move towards the movie? Or is it because I'm hungry?
I think it's because you're hungry. But we can if you want. I actually watched Inherit the Wind from beginning to end.
I think I maybe have seen that. I think I have seen that a couple of times maybe. The Clarence Darrow thing, right?
Yeah. Although fictionalized names. But, yeah, I mean, Spencer Tracy's amazing.
Yeah. He is really...
And Frederick March is great. And Gene Kelly's not that great.
Who does he play?
Gene Kelly plays the sort of cynical, out-of-town Chicago newspaper man who's...
Oh, he's covering the trial?
Yeah. But he's not a great actor.
I'm trying to think.
He played it at one exact tone the whole way.
You like the dancing, though?
The dancing was fantastic.
I love him dancing in that movie.
It was kind of like a very dark Music Man.
Yeah. Well, I think they took... I'm not sure how close they hewed to the, if that's a word, to the original story. I think they did. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it was more, I mean, they hinted at, I mean, I think the original trial was more of a deliberate publicity stunt for the town, in a way.
Oh.
And the teacher was sort of complicit and, you know.
But they didn't cover that then.
Well, I don't know. I mean, the story survives, so someone did.
No, I mean, did they cover it in the movie?
Not really. They kind of covered the debate amongst the city fathers about the attention they're getting from this.
Yeah.
So,
well, the other thing is...
But it was definitely a play. You know, it feels like a play in the way the dialogue is written for the most part. It's
William Jennings Bryan and Clarence Darrow.
Correct.
And so the part about William Jennings Bryan kind of having a nervous... I think he did get sick or something at the end.
That I don't know if that part is true. But,
yeah.
You know, definitely the character is William Jennings Bryan, the failed presidential candidate and Blowhardy.
And Clarence Darrow, are you calling Clarence Darrow Blowhardy?
No, he was folksy.
Oh, okay. That's true. That is
As
true.
Spencer Tracy played him, at least.
So he's like, I'm no country. I don't know.
No, he didn't play a rube at all.
He didn't play that.
He didn't
Right,
play
right.
that at all.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
But
Because
he was no nonsense
And Clarence
and
Darrow
sarcastic.
was a pretty amazing person. I don't know. I'm going to start to.
I don't know a lot about Clarence Darrow besides the Scopes Monkey Trial. Really.
Yeah. I realized that even though I liked history, that I realized that there's still, I'm sure, a lot of things that I have memorized the top lines from.
All right. Jeopardy level knowledge of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not everything. For example, I'm very familiar with the Holocaust and Hitler.
Animals. I'll take animals for 200.
You mean because I don't know what an animal was?
Yes.
That was that was a difficult period for me.
It was a difficult period for us all.
DNA is the building blocks of life.
That's a lot of incredulity to deal with on my part.
Do you think there's? I wanted to ask you because I don't want to look it up. There's no DNA on bones, right?
Yes, there is. DNA
God
on bones.
damn it! Is the bones themselves DNA?
The bones contain DNA.
God damn it! I thought that would be something. Oh, okay. Well then, you don't see a lot of cases that are closed with skeleton. Yes, you do. All right, go on to another topic. I've watched so many Datelines. I've watched everything. I have so much true crime.
Obviously, you're sucking it up like a sponge.
Well, some of it, I mean, it's really been great for me. I don't like the death part as much as I like the other stuff.
Yeah. But what's nice about the true crime is the death part comes at the beginning instead of the end.
Yeah, and sometimes if they spend too much on the death part. See, the thing is, if you were going to watch a true crime thing.
So what you enjoy is the human suffering and the aftermath
No, I don't.
of the death?
No, I like the beginning part.
Yeah.
She was a nice lady. Oh, what a great life. Oh, the town was fantastic. She could play Parcheesi.
They killed Jerry Lewis or something?
Yeah, they did. Okay. I like that part, though. I like that part. And then I like the intrigue. I love the intrigue.
Yeah.
And I love the whodunit part.
Okay.
The whodunit. I really do enjoy that. Especially when there's been a couple of stories that are just so crazy and you can't believe that it happened, but it happened. But then that doesn't justify me watching 400 other hours a week.
Right. What justifies that?
Nothing does. I don't know. I'm so judgmental of myself and others and I'm so afraid someone's going to, that I will be listening to a true crime thing when a guy in a supermarket dies next to me.
And that'll make you a suspect?
Yeah. Why was he listening to fucking Ted Bundy's...
The Mystery of the Captain Crunch Killer?
Why was he listening to Ted Bundy's stories about his canoeing days? Up close and personal with Ted Bundy.
Canoeing.
I don't know why I went for that. I went for that because obviously that was the best I could think of at the time. But I also like things...
Speaking of being without a paddle.
What's that?
Speaking of being without a paddle.
Up the creek?
Sure.
I do like other shows now, like, there's a show about those people who gave money to get into colleges.
Yeah.
It's called Gangster Capitalism. I love that. I hate the story. I mean, it's terrible, but I'm fascinated that one of your Lori Loughlin or whatever, that they would pay. It's fascinating to me that they, not in a good way, but I am that they would just blur the lines of morality that easily.
Right.
I mean, you can always see yourself in everything. So, except I couldn't see myself as a serial killer, but I can see myself wanting to have my kid get ahead, but I can't see myself.
Yeah, but when you're doing that, it's not about your kid getting ahead. It's about how you look to others.
Yeah, that's true. So it's even worse. It's worse than...
it's easy to say, I just want the best for my kid, but I think what you really want is the world to see that you've done the best for your kid.
Yeah, and some of these people, this show has transcripts. It doesn't have the actual tapes because there aren't tapes, but they have actors doing the transcripts. And some of these...
Does the person do a good Lori Loughlin?
No. But there's one person doing the guy, his name is Singer or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
The guy who's being indicted and everything.
He's doing it like Borat, which is weird in the reenactment. He's doing the read like Borat though in the reenactment. It's really weird.
Well, you have to get comedy out of it,
right?
In one way or another. But the thing is, when you hear some of these parents, it is amazing to me. Some of these parents, like I don't have a problem with this. You know what I mean? Some people have clearly said that I don't see a problem that I'm paying to get my kid in. That's fine.
Right.
I said right away I would have a problem with someone who had that. Not a problem with them, but I think you're bypassing the actual truth to go, oh, it's not the cheating part that bothers me.
Who's saying that, though?
Well, a couple of parents.
Yeah.
A couple of parents had kind of like the way they justify it in their mind. I guess you have to, if you're going to do something like that, you have to come up with a justification for it.
Well, it used to be you just donated a fucking library to the school and boom.
Well, that still happens, right? That still hasn't
I would
changed.
think, yeah.
And it's like, you never heard a legacy controversy in the 80s. It was, let's stop affirmative
No one
action.
wants to go to the Aunt Becky library.
Anyway, it is getting out of control. It is already out of control from when I went to school and now.
Well, the sheer cost is unbelievable.
Now, if Bernie gets in,
Yeah, even if Bernie gets in.
he says it's going to be free for this for all.
Yeah.
And he's going to pay it with the taxes on these people.
Right. What did you think when the millionaire billionaire decided to pay all the student debt of the Morehouse students that he was speaking to? Did you see that story?
I did see that. I was happy for those students. What'd you think of it?
I think it's very nice. My first thought is like, how screwed do the students who didn't go into debt to pay their thing?
Oh yeah,
feel?
Yeah, that's not fair. They should
I
get
hope
money.
there's some built-in.
There should be
thing for
something
that.
built into it.
It was wrong for me to think that, but that was my first thought. Was
How about the people?
How slighted would I feel if I actually paid for my college as I went?
Oh, I had plenty of cash. And don't think about me. I'm good.
No, the fourth job was really what made it a worthwhile experience.
You know what?
for me.
Yeah, part of me says, yeah, I'd like to see some. I would like to get in on this. Yeah, but they were happy people in that moment.
And God bless them for that.
Well, billionaires, they bother me. And there's another one, like, it's Tom Steyer guy. He bothers me. And I'll tell you why. I don't want to get in a big thing because who cares?
Right.
But the point is like, he has a commercial going on the same day that the last week, when they actually were getting something done. And then he has a commercial. You're doing nothing, Congress.
Yeah.
It's like, it's annoying because to me, what I don't like about it is he does think he's using his power for good. But there's something like obnoxious about it. I can't, because he would never be able to do that politically as a politician.
Right.
So what he's doing could never, if he ran for office and got in, he couldn't do that. So it only is effectively, it's like, something about that is like really where they do think they're more powerful.
Well, yeah. And I think, I guess I'm of two minds of it. Anytime you can put that message out there that this is fucked.
Mm-hmm. Can't argue with it.
It's completely correct.
Yeah.
But no one knows who Tom Steyer is, so there's no credibility behind it other than he can afford to do this.
Other than he can afford it.
I don't even know how he made his money, frankly.
I don't either. And worse is like when it's like that Schultz guy. Because Steyer doesn't seem like a bad person. He seems like a good, like he's fighting for the right things.
Right.
Schultz guy's like a terrible person. That not terrible, but the Starbucks guy. It's like when someone says as part of their regular conversation, you don't want the leftists in there, do you? It's like he really thinks that that's what everybody thinks.
Right.
Is that the leftists are loons?
See, the thing is that I think it's absolutely true that most people are centrists.
True.
But I also think that no one likes to admit they're a centrist. So you can't appeal directly to people's centrism.
Right.
I don't think.
Yeah. No, it's a weird.
I mean, I think maybe on the right, there's more people who would prefer to be called moderates. You know, but I think on the left, no one wants to admit to being a centrist.
Yeah. And then Chris Matthews was calling Kamala Harris the hard left. That guy is like from a different generation.
Yeah. Well, he is.
She's just like a regular candidate. How is she different from anybody else? Is it because she's black that he thinks that she's the hard left?
Right.
I don't get it personally, but I think the anger at Chris Matthews is really going to take off.
Yeah, it's right in its sweet spot right now.
But does he know where the bodies are buried? I mean, why all of a sudden do you go back to the 1990s in cable? It's like he's doing Crossfire still.
Yeah, but he hasn't changed.
That's true. Crossfire's doing him. I mean,
Well, I just mean that, at this point, it's like obviously there's some people, and it's probably an older demographic.
they still like him.
And I guess it comes on at 7 p.m.
Oh, I see.
East Coast.
I guess I never understand.
Who are just used to that rhythm, he obviously holds numbers at that hour, or he would have moved out a while ago,
I wonder about that. I wonder. Maybe he does. I mean, I don't. What else would it be? He doesn't. I'm not really saying he knows where the bodies are buried.
He's the clown prince of MSNBC.
He's been there since the beginning, maybe, is what it is.
I don't know. I honestly don't know why he's dug in as a fixture. Because he's a clown.
I know, especially when I can't stand when he anchors coverage.
Yeah.
You don't want him anchoring. It's like having Andy Rooney anchor the Olympics.
It's that everyman thing, man. People love the everyman.
They do?
They seem to.
Yeah. That's what I call myself. Anyway, you can tell I'm fading there. Now, I love Colin Quinn.
Yeah.
And I think he's very funny, but I don't know. I just don't agree. I just don't agree with his whole take that it's like it's like equally one way or the other. I just don't buy that take that we're a country and we're never going to agree, but it's two different points of view.
Yeah.
I don't buy that. It's
well, I don't know that you're fully articulating it enough.
No, I'm sure. I'm giving it a short
really
script. But first of all, he's hilarious.
Yeah,
so
I haven't seen his CNN
He's able to
special.
be funny regardless of what he does.
Did you watch his thing?
No, I've seen. I'm sure it's going to be funny. He makes me laugh all the time. He was very, very funny when he was on some show, and he said that Elizabeth Warren should jazz it up by wearing like Elton John glasses.
Yeah.
So he's extremely funny. But when he describes what the show is, the things that he says are wrong with the left. I don't agree. I can't remember them right now.
Okay.
But it's like he goes, yes, maybe the right is too racist, but then the left, and I can't remember what it was which would help. But the thing is, I thought maybe you could remember because they've been promoting. I've never seen anything promoted more on CNN, which is good.
I don't watch a lot of CNN.
Yeah, that's a good idea. It's a good idea. I'm trying to think if there's one trope about the left. He does a couple of tropes that I just don't. Actually, I don't buy most of the stuff about the left. I don't even think there really is much of a hard left, like there is a hard right.
I think there is. Honestly, I think
They're out there.
No, but I think the Bernie coalition.
I can't stand them.
Well, but they exist.
They exist, and they're
because
big.
You can't stand them proves that they exist.
Yeah, I can't stand them. You're right.
But they're there.
But they're not as big as the right wing. Maybe they are. I don't know.
We don't know. We don't know how many of them didn't vote or spite voted in the last election after Hillary took the nomination.
Well, it gets to be a useless discussion to argue who's worse on the left or on the right anyway. But, I
mean, my prayer is that, this election is made up of all the people who didn't fucking vote in 2008. It's like, I just have to believe that there's got to be this large number out there,
right?
Who just weren't present last time because they figured Hillary was going to win.
Well, also there was
they didn't want to be a part of that,
but they monkeyed around with it too. So there's never a way. I will never be able to know what on any of the. Actually, to be honest with you, in the last 3 or 4 elections where they're taking people off the rolls in Ohio. I mean, the right wing in my lifetime has dedicated itself to being just dirty, and I don't feel that way about the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
Maybe maybe we should be dirtier. But it's just like my whole lifetime, all it's been is these right-wing goons veering towards Nazism, fascism. When I was younger, they were just kind of like fascists.
Right.
Now that's not better. Now they're just off the chart. Literally, they know that they're just advocating for themselves, and they believe things like, I guess, people deserve to be poor because it's their fault.
Well, I mean, what's really happened is the hard right is the people who've been voting for the last 30 years.
I guess true, too.
And it's a coalition of single issue voters largely, And so when you gather all those single issues under one tent and you pander to each one, you've got a formidable force. And they've been doing it from the local elections up since the beginning of Reagan's era.
Also, what they've been doing is Like in the old days, it's like things that we learned about. Poll tax. These were like historical things. You didn't think it was going to happen again. They're doing the same stuff that poll taxes were. They're trying to find a way to stop people from voting as a group.
Right.
And that's just still makes me angry. I guess I should just stop.
Well, I mean, what's especially craven about it is just this sort of like, this thing of like, we can't get people of color into our party, therefore we will district around them.
Yeah.
You know, we aren't going to make our party more accessible to people. We aren't going to make it more welcoming to people. We're going to do all we can to just slice the cake around them.
Yeah.
You know,
which hopefully will fail
and get
soon.
them off the rolls and do all we can to get this segment of the population that we're basically determining by race to keep them permanently alienated from our party. You know?
Yeah. I do remember one thing that Colin said. He's like, yeah, on the left, on the right, the two right, and the left, they want felons to vote. See, I don't buy that. There's a great big people who want current felons. People, because he goes through a whole long thing.
Right.
But you mean like out of jail? No, in jail. So maybe there was someone who argued that felons should vote, but that's not really a legitimate left-right problem.
I personally think that felons should be able to vote once out of prison.
Yes, me too.
And I have a strong argument that they should be able to vote while in prison too, because they're citizens of this country and they're playing by the rules of this country, which is serving their sentences for crimes. That doesn't strip them of their rights as citizens, as far as I'm concerned. It's not something I would fight for, is in prison polling.
Right.
But I think there is a genuine argument for it that, you're still a citizen, whether or not, you are playing by the rules by going to jail, essentially,
yes.
is what I'm saying,
I never thought of it that way because I think I'm just generally grown up so defensive against, like, the excesses of any excesses about you're innocent because you were crazy or someone who got let out too soon. And so I'm always like trying to figure out, I don't want to get sandbagged by, you see, let this guy vote and he voted for Hitler.
You don't want to get Willie Horton in a conversation.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. But I never even thought about that. All the more reason it's like that's a phony issue to me.
Absolutely.
That's a phony issue that he's.
Well, the right wing and Trump in particular has built this entire kingdom out of phony issues for the most part.
Right. But I don't know. I guess the premise of Red State, Blue State, and he's funny, so I'll watch anything he does.
Yeah,
but
I wouldn't evaluate his special by whether or not I agreed with everything.
Yeah, I guess I do because I didn't, but when I start to see I don't know, it doesn't really matter. But I just think I think we have differing views, maybe, is what it is, and that's it.
You and he or you and I?
No, me and him, not you and I.
No, we're in lockstep.
I would say we are pretty much, we might disagree about stuff, but I would think that we are pretty much in agreement about most, like, social issues.
I would
things
say,
like
yeah,
that.
absolutely.
It's not like, that's why I never really understood the edgy right wing, because that was in the 90s too, where they were like, women shouldn't vote, or they were trying to make an opposite point. It's all about free speech, and
right.
Hopefully those people are.
Those were the sort of Limbaugh right.
Yes. Yeah. Feminazis.
Right.
I saw you look at your watch. You can't fool me.
No, I did.
Does that mean it's time to go into the movie?
Here, let me do it more.
I wouldn't mind that. Why shouldn't I be entertained?
Let's go to the movie, which I didn't like at all, by the way. Bringing Up Baby. Did not enjoy it.
At all?
Really didn't. Not much at all. No, I was sort of. It made me cranky fairly quickly and didn't pull me out of it.
It was directed by Howard Hawks. Was he also, who wrote it? Because there were some funny lines in there.
There was a few funny lines,
but very Groucho oriented.
It was very Groucho-y in that rhythm, but the jokes weren't as good as Groucho. It was based on Bringing Up Baby, a short story in Collier's by Hagar Wilde. Screenplay by Dudley Nichols, Hagar Wilde, Gertrude Purcell, and Robert A. McGowan. Ooh, team written. Like a sitcom, which is what it was.
Right.
It was a farce. It was it felt like a 50s sitcom.
Yeah.
And even the sort of cutaways to the leopard felt like TV to me.
Yeah, the leopard takes were hard to... I enjoyed some of the individual roles were like funny people, like the guy who was the expert about them in the latter part of the movie.
The dinner guest?
Yeah, I thought he was okay.
Yeah, but it was such vaudevillian kind of, yes, well, I say hello.
Yeah, it was like that.
Kind of that. And I don't know. There was no real characters in the movie. There was no, I mean, Katharine Hepburn, while it was sort of fun to see her play that part.
Right.
Because, while she's always sort of cantankerous in her roles, she's really that frisky.
Yeah.
But her character was like grounded in nothing. It was just like, the whole premise was she's a big liar who will say anything. So right away, there's never any character motivation other than she's trying to keep Cary Grant around, but you don't even buy that they have any reason to have chemistry,
Right. And and it's like, as I've said many times, I don't like when something starts to become a chase. It's this thing about me. I don't like chase scenes.
Yeah.
So as soon as it starts to be, how are we going to make it to the prom by 9, or how are we going to get him back? All I can think of is the whole time is, how long is this day? Hasn't he missed the wedding already? What the hell is going on?
But he did.
Right.
But it didn't, the stakes felt artificial.
Yeah.
Because you knew from the frame one that he didn't really want to marry this woman and he shouldn't.
Yeah. And then she's like, as soon as she hears he's getting married, she's like, what are you, nuts? Like early on, she's like, already figured out her game. She's going to get in. It just was fluff. It seemed very pre-World War.
You didn't mind the chase when it happened one night because that was well written.
Yes. I don't, but the thing is, when
you like it when it's Midnight Run and it's well written.
True. So I can't blanket say that it's only on movies, put it this way, on movies that are frivolous to begin with, you start to become more aware when the plot becomes so driven as to be one specific thing. Like, if it's just people at a, like, I like that movie, I don't know if I still like it, Metropolitan, or there's movies in the 90s where that guy made. I forgot what his name is. So it's just kind of like elitist people sitting around.
Right.
And I like that. So I like that kind of thing. Or, I like it when it's just conversation, but I don't like it when it was like so hard to be involved with.
Yeah, because everything was fake.
Susan said I laughed a lot. I mean, I did laugh, but I also think I want to laugh, too.
Yeah, I didn't laugh because I was just annoyed.
Some of the wordplay between Cary Grant and Katharine Hepburn were pretty funny.
Yeah, there was cute and clever in it, but it just was such a drag.
And you don't care. I mean, it's like he's a paleontologist or whatever the heck he's doing. What is his job?
He's a paleontologist. He's putting together a brontosaurus.
He's putting together.
It's an episode of Three's Company.
Yeah, nothing is. You didn't learn about paleontology.
But even the whole thing with the leopard, it's where the woman is like, "Oh, has my leopard come yet?" Yes, because she's always wanted a leopard. Okay, yeah, she's.
And then, as an OCD sufferer, I couldn't even barely take that she hits a guy in the head with a rock.
Yeah.
And she's like, let's get out of here.
Right.
No, I stay around and make sure no one's dead.
Right.
So wacky.
She was irresponsible.
Oh, yes.
And, they didn't have car keys back then, apparently, because there's all sorts of car thefts in the movie. And...
They also liked, back in those days in movies, they liked bits that you could see coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
But is that considered... Oh, how about one line he goes, I just went gay crazy. That was pretty funny. He jumps up.
I just decided I was gay. Yes. Yeah, it was... Oh,
also, I love this, not really, but this running theme of everyone's nuts. She's a little, woo!
Right.
Like it's like back, it wasn't too long ago, and we had a very simplistic view of human behavior.
Right.
He should go to the loony bin. He's a loon.
Right. No, it was. It's maybe my least favorite classic movie we've watched.
I think so. I think it's pretty. I told Susan at one point, This is like a movie that was like, should we go to war with Hitler? Let's watch this first. Because that was a time period where 38, it was just the world was about to explode.
Right.
So it was maybe the last one of these frivolous. I guess they did these frivolous movies always.
They kept making frivolous movies throughout to distract people from the war.
That's true. I guess they needed that. So I would say no.
Yeah, it's not worth watching, I don't think.
I liked it better till you just start talking about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see me ruining it for just about anyone, really.
Because Susan said I was laughing a lot when I was watching it, but I started to get so bored with it. I actually, at one point, because time was crushing in like it always does, and I said, I'm not having to watch this movie disrupt my regular routine. So I was like, at one point I was heating up food.
Right. Yeah, you didn't miss anything by giving it half attention, certainly.
It's like if I knew I have a couple of errands, I know I can watch Rachel easily because she's going to repeat everything 3 or 4 times. She's very slow with her premises.
Right. Yeah, this like you said, had a rhythm like a Marx Brothers movie, but it was so sporadic and so start and stop that, where a Marx Brothers movie doesn't ever really slow down much,
And also, I think the aimlessness is what really I'm thinking about now. It's just an aimless. I couldn't even remember if you asked me 10 minutes from now what he did for a living and why she was there at the beginning. And
right.
It was all disposable. A lot of disposable humor.
Yeah, it was not as good as a Marx Brothers movie in those terms. No. It was not as good as an episode of I Love Lucy in terms of its carrying off a farce storyline at a good pace. Because
you also, by the time you've watched Lucy a couple of years, you know who she is. And that was the thing, too, is like you couldn't figure out what was motivating, except that she's a great actor, Katharine Hepburn. You couldn't figure out what was motivating, why it was so interesting. I mean, why they were like meeting cute.
No, her character had they weren't meeting cute. They were meeting irritating. Because her behavior was irrational and unforgivable, essentially, from the beginning of the movie.
Yeah. Now, was that movie considered hilarious?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's a number 14 or whatever on the AFI all-time comedy list.
And I think when you think of Cary Grant, he had some funny lines, kind of, but the Cary Grantisms.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on, Judy. Isn't he when you go, Jody, Jody, Jody?
Yes.
Oh, here was the best line, and I laughed at this line. She's crying like she's manipulate him.
Yeah.
And she goes, Susan, your face is dirty, Susan. That was about it. There were some clever.
That's where it peaked.
Do you like Howard Hawks in general?
I don't know, honestly. Not after this. I'm not interested necessarily in going back to the well, because I feel like if that's his sense of humor, then.
Well, are we going for the Sullivan's Travels next? I mean, where are we headed?
I don't know, but it is this era,
Yeah.
So we'll have to look on the list, or we could veer from that. That was just one path to go down.
No. I kind of like. Well, it was an ease. I like the ease of it.
I feel like I just like that
the classics.
We can claim comedy
aficionadoism.
Yes.
Knowledge. We're knowledgeable about comedy.
Right.
And you know how we can prove it? We've seen almost every best comedy on the AFI's.
Exactly. So that was number 14. Number 15 is the Philadelphia Story, which I've seen. 16, Singing in the Rain, which we've seen. 17, Odd Couple, which you've seen, and I've seen.
Yeah.
The General, I've seen. His Girl Friday, I've never seen, but it's Howard Hawks.
No, we can't. We have to.
The Apartment, I've seen. Fish Called Wanda, we've seen. Adam's Rib, I've never seen.
I've never seen it.
George Cukor movie.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
What year?
49.
And how good is it rated?
It's Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn.
I say yes. I'm in the mood for Tracy because you built up Tracy. You got me going with Tracy when you started talking about him in that Inherit the Wind.
And Ruth Gordon co-wrote it.
Adam's Rib.
Yes.
Yes.
At number 22 on the AFI, ha ha ha, 100 years of ha ha list.
And I'm expecting that I will be able to get that in an easy way. like a
I
purchase.
assume you can iTuneify it. Do you want me to check?
No. If nothing from this podcast, I mean, except when it becomes a cash cow, but if it doesn't become the cash cow, that I hope it does, the fact that I'm more educated about movies, it's very good. It's almost like a win-lose, win-win.
Yeah, you couldn't even say win-win.
Win-win.
It doesn't compute in your world.
No, not with me.
Now we're all going to win. We're going to play a little music for the break here.
Oh,
Another
I'm
Andy
back.
Kindler composition.
I'm so glad that you brought this up because I was going to blow it at the top of the show. Now, here's a couple of things that everyone has to keep in mind, and I hope this doesn't make people hate me. I didn't realize that I am playing acoustic guitar on these track on that track. I'm playing which I can't even really hear it. So
in the USA, you were
in
playing
the USA.
acoustic?
So
Okay.
I would say that Scott C. Carter, who I think is just incredibly brilliant, he is playing the drums, he's playing the electric guitars, and he's playing the lead guitar in the USA. And he wrote the music
And the bass as well.
No, his brother, Kenneth Craig Carter, is playing the bass, and he's an amazing
Instrumentalist.
he's a musician. Is what I meant to say.
Okay.
So
Thank you, Foster.
last week the music was written by him, and I wrote the lyrics. Now this song this week called "The Grudge Song."
If you didn't write the lyrics for the Grudge Song, I'm going to eat my hat.
I did.
All right.
And I was talking to Susan about it because I was saying, like, I bet people, I mean, I'm not like one of these people, like, I don't have to be like Bob Dylan, Mystery Man, when they ask me, what does it mean? It's words and music.
It's called the
man.
Grudge Song. It's not that cryptic.
So In the USA and the Grudge Song are both songs about how angry I was in the early 80s, post John Lennon being killed, and all the stuff that was happening in Nicaragua. I just thought our life was going to get worse and worse. I didn't realize how great it was going to end up. So they're political, and so I really feel like I'm only bringing that up because I don't think you should listen to it that way necessarily, although I've ruined it. But I feel like I had a little bit of a Randy Newman vibe going, you know? I mean, if anything, it sounds like I'm copying him, so don't get me upset.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of the vibe I was going with.
The sort of
Like, it's not a positive song. It's like what's the song that they think Springsteen was?
Born in the USA is
Yeah.
not a positive song.
Right. That's the same thing about, you should think of In the USA the same way except for popularity.
Right.
And so it's called The Grudge Song. So again, it's Scott C. Carter wrote the music. He's playing the electric guitars. And his brother's playing the bass. And Scott's playing the drums. And I am singing. And they were... enjoy it.
I saw you sitting in your car. You had the radio turned on, and you were trying to be calm. You were born with a grudge to bear. You carry it everywhere. You don't hesitate to let it out, get it out, find something to fight about. When life gets you down, you look for someone to push you around. You believe that you're the one who understands what's going on. You're always out looking for who did what to who. You got a chip on your shoulder, you just can't get over it. You have to punch it out, say there's nothing else to do when everybody bothers you. And it would take too long to make you see where you went wrong. You put the blame for everything that you cannot explain on the people who smile and refuse to follow you. You were taught to listen to yourself and forget about everyone else. You don't talk it out, there's nothing anyone can say to make you think another way. You won't take the time to stop and look inside your mind.
Yes, the Grudge Song with Andy Kindler and Steely Dandy Newman.
That's true. It has a Steely. I really felt the Steely Dan vibe there.
It was very Steely Dan, I thought.
Yeah. Especially his voice. I realize now I really love his voice. So maybe I'm loving my own voice. Like, I love the way he sings. Like, you know, I cried when I wrote this song. You know,
Right.
It has like a Jewish thing to me.
Good. Nice.
Thank you.
That was more recognizable as Andy Kindler to me than
This
last
sounds
week's.
like me.
Not in a bad way. I just recognized.
No, I know
Like
what you-
last week, it was like I had to ask. That's you singing, right?
Right.
And this time I heard more, just because I think there's more inflection in the song.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Thank you. You know, I
And that was circa 1980. You said.
it could even be 79. It was, and
You said it was post Lennon, though.
Yeah, must have been post-Lennon. Yeah, because you know why? I went back. I came out in 78, then I went back out for, I wouldn't have even had time for this to be happening until probably 80, 81.
Okay.
Thank you.
And thank you, Andy.
Thank
for
you.
bringing in this blast from the past here on KDOL.
Mixing it up a little bit.
You want to go to questions?
Sure.
Alrighty. Looks like we've got a batch waiting for us.
Neither one of us can pull off the disc jockey voice.
We really can't.
We weren't born in the generation of, it's a wolf man. Wolf man. I know that's not it.
What?
Hey, Wolfman Jack. How's it go? Wolfman Jack. Yeah, you got the Wolfman Jack right here, right now. Yeah. That was a classic impression line you said. Yeah, you got the Wolfman
Exactly.
Jack. Hey, I'm Wolfman Jack.
All right. Fake Jeff McKinney says, help. I'm writing a country song and need a rhyme to complement appetizer, breathalyzer, and stigmatizer. What do you got?
Ooh. Dehumidifier.
Dehumidifier?
Or is it one of these, anything can sound like ire?
Izer is the sort
Oh,
of-
Izer.
Yeah.
I learned that when I was working at Pfizer.
I don't want to analyze her.
See?
Yeah.
So what are we doing? Are we charging for this or?
To hear more rhymes, go to the Webster's Rhyming Dictionary to read more about it.
Or go to those isn't one of the things like those jib jab guys would do. Remember jib jab?
Yeah.
They would do a thing like that.
Sanitizer.
It always reminds me of the comedian who worked at the Improv, and his name was Ted, and his whole bit was, you can respect Ted, you can reject Ted, but you can't infect Ted because I am protect Ted. And I still claim that's not a bit. Any word can have that past tense.
Right. And young Ted Bundy never made it as a stand-up.
Oh, he made it in a different field.
I said as a stand-up. Michael Lapsley says, hi, I have an idea for a show featuring Andy Kindler, aging comedians in cars who can't remember where they were going or why.
It's still too on the nose. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what it would be like.
Seth Dick III says, Andy, how do you keep your hemorrhoids so red and juicy? Any home remedies you'd care to share?
I can't believe I opened the door,
You really
the
did.
back door to hemorrhoid things.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take the bait because although, surprisingly enough, I have signed a deal with the Scatological channel.
Yeah.
No, that's all I got. Red and juicy. As soon as he said that, I got a little depressed.
Well, because your hemorrhoids are now in the zeitgeist.
Are you talking? Is he talking about my colorectal, doctor?
Yeah. Have you had your
No, I
plunges
haven't
yet?
done it yet. Haven't done it yet.
Have you
know
made an
what?
appointment yet?
No, you know why?
Because you don't want to do it.
No, it's not. That's not why. It's like it's such a boring reason. I have to figure out either in network or out of network, and so if you introduce anything that can get me to stall,
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a lot of people who stall when it comes to things up your poopic.
Also, do you need iron so much?
Not so much. Dan Wade says, hi, guys. I'm not sure I've ever heard this before, but how did you two meet? Well, someone asks it every couple months. And I think it's time we made up a story for this.
Okay, I'll never
Because we
forget.
don't remember. I'm pretty sure it was at a party, but I don't remember whose. It was in the early 90s.
Okay, so we'll say it was at
Might have been Chris Bliss's house.
Chris Bliss's house. The sad thing is that we can't even make anything up that's interesting.
Mark Thompson says, will Blowhardy enter the presidential primary?
I don't know. Well, I still want to joke run for president.
Yeah.
And that's going to consist of me just making periodic announcements about it.
Yeah.
My joke run for president continues next week as I take my hilarious bits to New Hampshire.
Right.
And hopefully that will be a thing that people won't like.
Yeah. Will you talk about the T-shirts that you're going to have?
Yes. Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay.
Folks, no, but you have to do, if you're going to do joke running for president, you have to do one of these things where you set it up like it's a dramatic, and I can't promise free college education, but I can promise happy endings to your massages. Ooh, something like that.
Yeah. Pat Paulson's the bar.
I know. Well, I'm going to be below that bar because he was
well, then
funny.
why do it?
He was very funny. I'm not going to do it.
I know you're not going to do it.
But you know what? Even talking about it is not as funny as I had hoped.
I thought you might have some hypothetical thing.
Yeah. Note to self, come up with examples of jokes.
Tom Shad seems to have a haiku here for me. Memorial Day. Trump is an idiot still. Go away, small hands. Little haiku.
Ooh. I don't know how haiku works. I think it's like syllables, right?
It's 575. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You would think I would have learned that by now.
Tom Shad also says, can you guys watch and talk about A New Leaf? How about Four Friends? Or The Fish That Saved Pittsburgh?
Are these movies?
They are all movies, yes.
What was the first one?
A New Leaf, which is an Elaine May movie.
Did we do it in the Elaine May movie?
We did. We did Johnny and Nikki and Johnny.
Well, I don't think we should say we're not going to do another
Johnny
one.
and Nikki and Frankie and
Chucky and Nikki. Chucky and Nikki. Nikki and Chucky.
Mikey and Nikki.
And the network goes, look, we like that it's two common names. Maybe we'll. And the other one?
Four Friends, which I saw years ago.
Oh. Is it good?
I kind of remember it being sort of boring. It was like, four friends as they go through their adulthood.
Don't say that. The person is a nice...
Craig Wasson was in it, I remember.
He's a fan of ours, is a listener.
And The Fish That Saved Pittsburgh, I've seen that.
Is that with Don Knotts?
No, it's a disco basketball movie with Dr. J and... It's the fish. It's the fish that saved Pittsburgh. Whoa, whoa. It's the fish. It's the fish that saved Pittsburgh.
And is it funny?
I was meant to be.
Well, that's what they say about all comedies.
Yeah, it's kind of a classic, that disco era.
Yeah.
Like Can't Stop the Music or Thank God It's Friday, those kind of movies. It's slightly earlier than that.
How about Car Wash? I've never seen Car Wash.
I've seen Car Wash.
Is it good?
No.
Oh, I thought Car Wash
it's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I remember the theme song was something along the lines of "At the car wash,
looking at the car wash." That was Rose Royce, I believe.
Was the name of the group?
Yes.
Ooh. Like Rose?
Yes. So I would watch A New Leaf. That's like I think a Walter Matthau.
Yeah.
Elaine May.
Sure.
But we're already watching Adam's Rib for next week.
Okay. I'm going to write down A New Leaf. It's interesting because they're all objects. There's a new leaf, there's Adam's Rib.
Right.
And some of them are animals. Which one of those two are animals? The leaf? Is a leaf an animal? Just answer me that because I forgot. I'm going to say no.
Okay, good.
It's not an animal, right?
It's not an animal. It's a plant.
But listen, if I can't figure out why a plant is an animal, should I be co-hosting a podcast?
Probably not.
Right.
Not for adults.
Why don't you just start calling me Soupy? Was his real last name Sal's? No, right?
I don't know. His kids are.
His kids are nice, right? Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay.
But I've heard their music.
Oh.
Hunt and Tony Sales.
Oh, okay.
They were in a band with, or at least Tony Sales was in a band with Michael DeBar. And Hunt and Tony were in the Tin Machine with David Bowie.
This is what I would call low energy Blowhardy.
Yeah. At least it's rock and roll Blowhardy, baby.
No, but it's like, you're not even into it. That's how dismissive you are.
That's how dismissive you are.
Don't do that. Don't do that impression.
Stand By Your Man says you've talked about Star Trek TOS a couple of times. but not sure if you've mentioned if you watch / like The Next Generation or any of the shows that came after that. I'm watching Deep Space Nine all the way through for the first time. Didn't know about your cameo. And then there's a little character saying, I suppose it would be to describe the one as spicy.
People like that spicy shirt.
They do. Our new shirt
that's cool.
Designed by Patented Phil. Thank you.
That is nice.
Seems
That
like
was cool.
We've had a lot of positive responses and a few orders. So.
Oh, my God. It's very cool.
Did you ever watch Star Trek?
Yeah. The original one?
No, the later ones.
No.
Next Generation.
I don't think so, no. I saw more than the first movie.
Yeah.
Were there 3 movies with the original cast?
There was more.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm really not... do you like some of the latter ones? I would imagine it's a whole different thing. It could be actually not campy. It could be good.
Yeah, I mean, Star Trek The Next Generation was much, much less campy. And much better written and much more interesting stories, but I was never that into it nonetheless. When I watched it, it was clearly a better show.
Yeah.
But I wasn't that drawn
into it. Well, Shatner is the original Blowhardy.
Oh, God.
And he was attractive when you could make fun of him and Rocket Man. Now he's just so overexposed. There's nothing charming about the fact that he can't act.
No, his self-awareness only lasted a few years. He pretty much blew it all out in those Priceline commercials.
Yeah. It's like Trump dancing in Saturday Night Live. It's like,
right. When your only relevance is making jokes about how irrelevant you are, maybe it's time to just collect the checks.
Right.
Chris Olson says, hey guys, I've never gone to a single school-related reunion. Any stories or thoughts about returning for such patently silly traditions? Thanks from the future in Japan.
I missed them, but I wished I had gone to them.
I missed them and had no desire to have gone to them.
Well,
no regrets whatsoever.
Well, when I realized quickly that Facebook was going to become a thing where you got together with people, you realized the idea of getting together with your old friends sounds sometimes better than it is.
Yeah.
But I still have a curiosity about it, but it doesn't matter that I had that because I didn't go. I only remember them being there.
Yeah, I mean, if there was more people who I could honestly go, oh, I regret not being in touch with them or never seeing them again.
Yeah.
Then maybe, but I don't have a long list of those.
It might be tough for because I came from I'm saying I came from Queens, huge borough. Maybe, I think if you come from a small town, maybe it's maybe even worse that you have to go back and see.
Well, wasn't that? I mean, I had probably 450 people in my class.
Well, Minnesota's a big thing. Oh, that's small, you're saying.
I'm just saying that's what I had. It wasn't like 50 people.
Well, we had 2,000 in our thing. I don't know why I'm
in your whole school or in your class?
No, just in my class, I think.
There was 8,000 people at your high school?
Maybe I don't know, but the numbers.
that
this is why it would be bad to torture me.
That's a small town.
It would be bad to torture me because you wouldn't get anything reliable out of me. My memory is so shot. Scott Carter was able to remember every single, you wrote this song, you wrote that song, you did the music here. Is that how most people remember their lives? Because I don't.
I remember a lot of shit like that.
Yeah. So why am I trying to sell my early onset dementia as some kind of a natural progression?
I don't know.
Oh, God.
Either will you in another hour.
That's the beauty of it.
Yes.
That's the beauty of having no anchor as a person. Every minute is a new minute.
Bill Buckner died today, speaking of dementia.
That's sad. That made me very sad because 69 means he was suffering already
for a while.
Really early onset. And yet I didn't do it, but I did think if I had an amazing joke about between his legs, I would get one more.
Don Foster had a pretty good one on a text. Bill Buckner? How did I miss that?
Isn't it great that we can?
But in a way, there's some poetic justice to the dementia of being able to forget what you remembered for.
That's true. It's like that's another thing where you project. Like my projection is that guy live the rest of his life dreading that. I don't think that's true.
No, he did until the early 2000s, though.
Oh, he did?
I think he dreaded it until the Red Sox actually won their title.
Oh, yeah, that would be really weighing on you.
Yeah.
Because I forgot they hadn't won a world. Wait, they won in 1918 or 19
whatever,
something like that. Yeah,
they were about
no modern era.
About to win their first in 70 years or whatever.
Yeah, and Bartman. I felt bad for Bartman.
Yeah.
But he's over it now. What do you think? He's not going to. They don't bring it up.
They won theirs too. So.
Yeah. So these guys are actually very happy.
Yes. Chaotic what?
I can't say that I would never have done something like Bartman did. I can't guarantee that.
No, for sure not. I
You might be even more aware a little bit.
I wouldn't have gone for the ball if the player was coming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would have cleared the way for a player to come.
Right.
But if the player wasn't pretty close,
you would go.
Yeah, I'd take a shot at the ball for sure.
It's just the thing is, it's a perfect to me. As soon as he gets distracted, that's where I see it could happen for me. A ball for me, ball for me, ball for me, ball for me. Enemy of the people.
Right. No, I mean, it's pretty easy to put Andy Kindler in the Steve Bartman seat, I gotta say.
I can see it.
It's so easy to see.
Take your foul ball.
It's
Mom.
so easy to see.
Well, I can also see myself.
I also see you writhing in pain with your hand, shaking your hand a lot after the ball bounces off.
Yeah,
making a huge deal about how much your hand hurts.
Did he get to get the ball or no?
No.
Okay. No. Bartman didn't make the catch.
He did not. He interfered with the play.
Damn it.
Chaotic Neutral says, when you put together a writing team for a show, what kind of mix do you go for?
I haven't done that.
It's kind of it depends how many people you have to hire, I think, but you do have to consider, can I sit in a room with this person?
Yeah.
All day, every day. But ideally you have a mix of different voices and people who aren't all the same. It's always different because it's always different people available and different people come across your radar, but you try to match them with both you and with the material, and hopefully it's not all just white dudes.
You see, that's the thing I would say is like, I never realized growing up, I mean, it sounds sad to say it, but I didn't even realize how much privilege I had. I just wasn't aware of it. Like I do. I mean, and not that I wasn't aware of it, but I didn't take it into account as much because I wasn't a woman, so I wasn't as sensitive. It wasn't like I was insensitive to it.
Right.
But there was like, I think also when you're young, you're more selfish. You're like, hey, this is my life, and how's everything going with me?
Right.
So I think if I was doing it today, I would be more conscious of those factors.
Oh, I absolutely would be too. I mean, I did end up hiring plenty of white guys, but those are also the people who come across your desk mostly.
Right.
But I hired Margaret Smith for, I think, her first writing job, and
cool,
or one of her first.
That was for at Kinnear.
Yeah, but I have, I've only had a couple of gigs where I really had strong input into the hiring of everybody.
Right.
But and I hired friends at AFE.
At where?
America's Funniest.
Oh, I thought I got confused only because we have AFI going now.
Right.
Do they have the top 50 AFV in the groin? Number 49, a thing that hit him in the groin.
You bet they do. Or I bet they do.
What would you say would be the number? I don't know. All of a sudden, I'm curious again.
The groin ones aren't the memorable ones.
Right. I could see that.
Tweepahara says, I've read that the Clark Gable character from It Happened One Night became the template for Bugs Bunny's personality, the tricky, quick-thinking survivor. What's funny is I saw Katharine Hepburn in Bringing Up Baby more like Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
Just totally sabotaging things and sitting back and watching them unfold.
Right.
I actually thought of that while I was watching it, that she was Bugs Bunny-like in her motivation for chaos, kind of.
Yeah, she seemed, if not malicious, she certainly seemed to have a plan. Not malicious, but she knew what she was doing, kind of.
Yeah.
She's causing trouble. She was, if they had this word, they would have called her a disruptor back then.
Right.
But I'm always at a disadvantage because having not watched very few of those cartoons, it took me even a minute to realize Bugs Bunny always wins. Right? Is that the deal?
Yes.
And who loses? Is it the guy with the speech impediment?
Yes, he frequently loses.
Is it Elmer Fudd?
Elmer Fudd. Yosemite Sam loses. Daffy Duck certainly loses plenty.
And has Bugs ever lost?
I don't think in,
because he's a wise guy.
In the long game, no, I don't think Bugs Bunny.
When you're a wise guy, you are a wise guy.
That's right. Look how it's worked out for us.
Huh?
Huh? Television Savalas says Tweet Bahara and Kathy McCarty aren't the only spiralers in The Devil and Daniel Johnston. My shoulder makes a cameo in a shot. Seems like this makes it a must-watch, right? I've seen it. Andy should watch it.
I have not seen it yet. But I haven't watched. Okay, what's it called?
The Devil and Daniel Johnston.
I'm supposed to watch that. Yes, I will watch that. Devil and Daniel Johnston. What was his screen name? Who just you said?
That was Television Savalas.
I like that one. That one is that is on my top list. Television Savalas. It's simple, but it's good.
Yes. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I could see how Clark Gable certainly could have had that kind of influence at that time, that character.
Yeah.
But like I said, I specifically thought of Bugs Bunny when looking at Katharine Hepburn and Bringing Up Baby.
When you originally saw Mengele, did you ever see him that maybe one day he would be played by who do you think?
By Gregory Peck.
Yes. Gregory Peck.
As Dr. Joseph Mengele.
I am Joseph Mengele.
Huh?
Get over here. Get over here, Jew. Get over here, Jew. Get over here, you're a Jew. Jew.
James Curl says, Warriors versus Raptors, who you got? Can Toronto pull off the upset? Will the Warriors sweep in 4? We talked about this already, but I think I do not think the Warriors will sweep in 4. Unless if the Warriors win both in Toronto, maybe they'll sweep in 4. But I do think the Warriors will win.
I'm going to make a differentiation between the part of me that wants the Raptors to win and the part of me that knows that my previous predicting history based on what I want is not only not foolproof, it might be less than 50-50, which I don't know. Is that possible that you can be less than 50-50?
Well, on one
wrong.
side of the ledger, you can be less than 50-50.
Yes. That would be me.
It goes up on the other one, though.
I don't know. It's math. When you start with the math.
Greg Kelly says, Tesha 108 comes out the day before my wedding anniversary. Please remind me to get a card. Greg, you got to do better than just a card. Come on.
No, he's already got the other gift.
No, he doesn't.
I got some lovely flowers for my wife, but she enjoyed.
For or from?
For my wife.
Yeah.
She gave me nothing.
Ouch.
But aggravate. No, it was very nice.
Yeah.
I also found a restaurant I liked in Via, like in Hollywood or something.
Yeah.
Maybe Via Aloro.
Oh. Where is it?
Where it is.
Doesn't concern me.
Beverly Hills-ish. That's where it is.
Gotcha.
I realized I couldn't remember, and then I panicked, and I realized, why don't you just relax? Maybe it'll come back to you.
He Ant says, what are your thoughts on NASA? I love NASA.
I love NASA.
I just watched Apollo 11, that documentary that came out last year the other day.
I haven't seen that.
It's good. It's really,
Is that Netflixy?
I think I rented it on iTunes. But it was great. I mean, you got to see a lot of stuff you've never seen before and a lot of great film and that's high res and,
Who?
This is Apollo 11.
It's high res.
High res.
Oh, high res. Yeah. Which one was the 11? Which one is that?
The big one.
The one that got to the moon.
Neil Armstrong.
Oh, okay. And the one that didn't was with Gus Grissom and...
Well, Gus Grissom died in Apollo 1.
Okay. Boy, how do you remember these numbers?
But Apollo 13 is the one that had to turn around and not land on the moon.
And that one, everyone got home safely.
Yes. Yeah, Tom Hanks and everyone got home.
He wasn't in the... I'm more excited about NASA since the advent of the Space Force. Because
that's not under NASA's purview.
Why not? It's the War Department?
It's Naval Aviation. Or Air Force, I guess.
I hope that NASA partners up with the Space Force, because that's all I care about. Kindler, get me Sector 7. Stat.
Stat.
Well, how do you prepare for a Space Force? Do you just start sending people up?
I would. I mean, I do a draft first, and then just fire people into space based on their number.
I can't even say I'm old enough to remember when the expression "I'm old enough to remember" was not hack, but I'm old enough. I can't. It's unbelievable. There's nothing you can say any longer to describe.
So the show's over. Oh
no. That too, but how hideous this is continuing to be.
But the question was, how do you feel about NASA?
I love it. I thought we did establish. I used to build the models even as a kid.
Yeah.
I do enjoy space travel, but it makes me nervous. You know.
It does?
Well, yeah, when they do the Mars Explorer, you know, if it doesn't land, it's like, I don't like people going, do they really know it's safe? No, in fact, they know it's not safe. So that part makes me nervous. But it's just amazing. When Kennedy, I'll never forget when Kennedy said, well, I was 7 years old, or I was 5 years old. Well, I think he died when I was 7. So I was 5 years old when he said, and we go to the moon and we do the other situation. Not because we have to, but because we dig it. Close strong, I always say, Josh.
Yes.
And we go to No, that's not the way he talks. No. Ich bin ein Schmuppie-boop.
You lost it after the circle of clapping.
The circle of clapping, I had a game plan.
Yes. But I love NASA stuff. I mean, I think NASA has lost a lot of its relevance now, but I think it's going to be a billionaire who put someone on Mars first before NASA, but I think they're going to have to work together to pull it all off.
It's going to happen. That's the thing that's exciting to me.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. I don't want to be a pioneer in it. I want to make sure all the kinks are out. Call me when it's really safe. But we're going to these different planets, and it's going to be like Star Trek or whatever, something. It's going to be for real. Maybe. We could die before that.
Yeah. I think that's very possible.
What are the chances of
before regular space travel becomes a part of people's lives?
How do they know when they could know when an asteroid's going to hit the Earth, or can they only predict some of them? Obviously.
I believe there could be a curveball asteroid, but I think in general they're tracking all the stuff in the solar system pretty well.
So that's amazing to me.
Yeah.
They know something is hurtling, and these things are not, you told me they were traveling slow. I think these asteroids are moving.
They're moving. They're hauling asteroid.
And yet you know it's an accident. It's not an accident then. You know it's going to hit or not hit.
Well, either way, I mean, it's not within our control, so it's...
Right, but could they wake up tomorrow and go, we didn't know this, but in 2075...
Yes, of course they could.
I don't like that.
Sure.
I don't like it.
I don't either.
It's bad enough that we have to be here, but then all of a sudden we could be destroyed like dinosaurs.
Yes, we could.
I hate it.
I think we'd have some time to worry about it before it happened.
Right now their plan is to shoot it down or something? They have a thing of hitting it with something.
I don't think there's a lot of good plans yet.
No. I wish I'd been born in the future when everything was worked out.
Yeah.
Did you want to be beamed up?
Think how old your material would be in the future. Yoshi Yamamoto says this
Yoshi Yamamoto.
Yo.
It's true. I can be off tune, no matter what key.
Yoshi Yamamoto says, this is about 60 test shows late, but I took Josh's advice and watched the Mike Lindell documentary on his website. It's one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen. The audience looks like it's from the 1980s, and Mike Lindell can't stop laughing at himself.
Have you seen it all the way through?
Oh, yeah, I've seen it all the way through. It's a story of a man who screwed people over time and time again until he thought of something that worked. And then Joe Piscopo comes out.
Is he an early adopter of the pillow?
He was an early adopter of the pillow, and he had Mike on the radio, I think, in his early days.
And is Joe funny with him?
Joe's not funny at all. Joe is a waste of human flesh.
He's not. He's in shape, right?
Well, I didn't say he was flabby human flesh waste.
Didn't he marry his... These are one of those celebrities that you always either think or may have married his babysitter.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
It's a Joe Piscopo.
to Joe Piscopo. And you were such a big, and before that, I was a big fan.
I was a fan of 1982.
Oh, he was
Piscopo,
funny.
Yeah.
But he should have just gotten out.
His talent did not leave SNL with him.
No. He rented it at SNL.
Mad City Architect asks us our reaction to the Stan and Ollie movie. Do you have a reaction to the Stan and Ollie movie?
I guess I spaced out that it's going to happen. And when is it coming out? Oh,
Soon.
it's John C. Reilly.
And Steve Coogan, yeah.
I love Steve Coogan. And while you're bringing that up, I hear the new Alan Partridge, Michael McKean, tweeted that it's fantastic.
Yeah.
So that is very exciting because that's one of my favorite characters. It's a new thing.
Yeah.
So I semi-answered the question. I don't know. I would be nervous about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd be nervous about it. If it was great, it's going to be
I'd be
great.
less nervous about it than the Elton John movie, I would say.
That looks nerve-wracking to me.
I think the thing about Stan and Ollie movie is that their actual personalities aren't etched into your brain at all.
That's true.
You know, they exist more as cartoon characters almost.
So they're more
Yeah.
malleable.
Yeah, and like the Chaplin movie worked for the most part, I thought, with Robert Downey.
I never saw. I heard that was a good movie.
It was a pretty good movie. But I generally don't like biopics that much, but this looks like it at least is sort of contained to a piece of their story. And
Is it about them as a duo?
yeah,
No. Because wait, did they not get along? No, they got along, right?
watch the movie.
Oh, God damn it. I know Abbott and Costello argued. Or maybe I'm getting the whole thing wrong.
didn't argue. You can't make me argue.
Lou?
Well, I'm not going to argue.
Listen, Lou.
I'm not going to argue with you.
Listen.
I'm not arguing.
Don't make me say Lou.
You can't make me argue with you.
I will if I want to, Lou.
Oh, you said Lou.
Hey, Lou.
Oh, you said it again.
Do you know what the effect on my voice will be after 20 years of this?
Who?
Me, Bud Abbott. I don't know. The guy talking right now. Third base.
Oh, you went on a date?
Do your Stinky.
My what?
There's a character named Stinky in that Abbott and Costello show.
Did he talk like this?
No, he's like a big baby.
Oh, you big baby. I'm sticky. Ah.
It's back, folks.
Don McCoy asks, dogs on the furniture? On the bed? Maybe I spoil my pooch too much. No, dogs on the furniture and on the bed is fine.
I would like to have that. I don't have a dog, but I don't know if my wife would like dogs. But it's a hard rule to make anyway, right?
Hard rule.
Because, you know, they're
What?
dogs.
They're dogs. You kind of want them on you.
Yeah, otherwise don't have a dog. Is what I say.
Right, exactly. Greg Kelly says, I was in the McDonald's drive-thru, and I swear James Mason was in front of me and having trouble ordering. Can you imagine such a thing?
I can't believe the odds because I think he's dead.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I can imagine it.
Oh, well, what would it be like?
Hello, is anybody there?
Yes. What would you like? What would you like, sir?
I see you have breakfast available all day.
Well, yeah, that's what the menu says, sir. What would you like?
I'd like the eggs Benedict with some caviar and some Nova Scotia lox.
That's not
please.
on. That's not on.
Well,
the,
it says breakfast all day, doesn't it?
yeah, but you have to stay with the menu, sir. Stay with the menu.
All right. Well, I will have. Do you have a lobster thing?
Not is James Mr. Mason? Are you either born in a different time period, or you're not aware that these fast food restaurants?
I've never driven through, so to speak. All right, I will have the. I will have.
It's like a hamburger of some type.
Oh, a hamburger. That sounds. I haven't had a hamburger in ages. How about? Oh, that sounds. How about a swirl cone?
Swirl cone. Is he British? No.
Yes.
Oh, I thought it was just a weird accent.
Well, both. Patented Phil, inventor of our latest Is It Spicy t-shirt, available on Zazzle.com. Twizzlers or Red Vines? There is a right answer.
I don't have it. I don't have the right answer. I would say, no, I'm guessing.
If I'm paying, Twizzlers all the way. But the situation where I've always eaten red vines is in a comedy writing room where there's a bucket of them sitting on the table. So I will then eat red vines.
Oh, so you're saying you know the answer to his question?
Well, I know the answer. My answer to
His
the question.
Twizzlers are the best.
Twizzlers is a superior product, I believe.
Wow.
But red vines come in a bucket.
Right, they come with that round bucket. I didn't think that compromised in the quality. I just thought you got more of them.
There's a lot of them there.
Is Twizzlers longer?
I don't think so necessarily.
You shouldn't eat too much of that food at one time.
No,
right?
You shouldn't. No, it'll hurt
mess
you.
with you.
It'll hurt you.
And that happens.
But there's many a night in writing room that I ate like
your share
yards of red vines.
Do they get you high? Kind of.
No.
There's no winning with the whole concept of you're endlessly supplied with food. There's no winning with that
Not
scenario.
really. No. But it keeps you from going home. Jeffrey Oliver says, "Can we hear what the layoffs at My Pillow sounded like?" I did that a couple weeks ago, actually. Jeffrey Oliver also says, "Have either of you ever seen the historical roast series on Netflix yet?" No.
What is that?
It's a show that has been around town, and it's literally like comics roast a historical figure.
Oh, I've done that myself in clubs. Ron Lynch did it. I think we did Hitler or something.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
It's that, yeah. But now it's a Netflix show.
Why did I why would I do a Blowhardy? That's my idea reaction to it. Because I can't do it now.
Well, it's been a show for a few years, so you had your chance, I guess. Is what I'm saying.
I know. I used to yell about. I was the lounge singer before Bill Murray did it. Well, nice try, Andy.
Tweet Bahar is back to say, "Andy, seriously, Kathy and I loved your music. That was some powerful funk fusion. I want to buy a CD of more available soon."
Well, thank you.
Yeah, he's good with getting the CDs out.
That's great. Oh, that was a slam at me.
It was a poke at you.
Yeah.
Slam is hard.
But aren't you going to set up a Bandcamp thing for me and Scott?
You can do it. You can do it.
First of all, I'm going to do the poor man's copyright and mail everything to myself again.
Yeah. I think putting it on your podcast is the poor man's copyright.
Right. That's better. You know what you're saying is true, because I think people will not think that I sealed up the release
Right,
date.
Exactly. Tom the Tom asks, "What's the most mindless entertainment you are into right now?"
For me, it's Real Housewives.
For me, it's Andy coming over once a week.
I only watched 3 Housewives, though.
It's probably The Voice. I watched The Voice.
Who's leaving The Voice? Blake Lively? Blake?
No.
Someone's leaving The Voice.
Adam Levine is leaving The Voice.
Will he be missed? Is he a nice guy on the show? Or?
Yeah, he was fine.
And how was the show this year?
I didn't, I watched with less attention than usual, I would say.
Then they have one called Songland, or...
Yeah, I don't know if that seems interesting to me or not. But
yeah,
I like process shows when it comes to creative stuff. But
that's why you love The Apprentice.
David Goga says, "Are the dog days truly over?" Well, who am I to go against Florence or the machine?
Boy, that went right by me. What's the dog days? Is that Dog Day Afternoon?
There's a song called "Dog Days Are Over."
I haven't heard it.
Is
it hot? It was
a couple of years ago song.
Oh, come on now.
Michelle Weiscarver says, "Bluegrass music, yay or nay?" Steve Martin's bluegrass band, the Steep Canyon Rangers, is astoundingly good, which is something I never thought I'd type. Amazing musicians in that band, including Mr. Martin.
I like country, but I'm not... I mean, I like that Chris Teal, and I like some bluegrass stuff, but I'm not familiar with it enough.
Yeah.
And Steve Martin's, I mean, I like it when he does it, but I don't go crazy for it.
Yeah.
How about you? What would you say?
I would say I like bluegrass probably the most of country genres.
Oh, cool.
I particularly like banjo players. I think Steep Canyon Rangers are good. I mean, I'm not like an avid fan, but I enjoy the music. And there's a couple of banjo players like Bela Fleck, I'm a giant fan of, and he does sort of, jazz bluegrass almost.
Yeah.
Tony Triska is a great banjo player. I like Flatt and Scruggs.
I love Flatt and Scruggs.
But So yeah, I mean, I like the spirit of. I mean, to me, bluegrass feels like sort of the jazz of country music,
I think you're right.
and it doesn't have the sort of mawkish sentiment of a lot of country music.
Right, and in general, the country music I like is not mawkish.
Yeah, I like Hank Williams. You know?
I like Hank Williams and all the Buck Owens and
Yeah, but I'm not a modern country guy.
I don't know enough about it, but I'm not a big-haired country guy.
Chris Wood says, was absolutely floored after hearing Andy's incredible singing voice in Chess Show 107. It got me wondering, what other talents is Mr. Kindler hiding from us? Josh, too. Are you guys up to something nefarious? I'm scared.
Well, Scott Carter is the man who can, one of these people who can do anything. So there's nothing much that I've done that I'm hiding. I used to be able to tumble, but not really anything dramatic. Oh, and light fencing.
Yeah.
But nothing else in my... there's no other love that I'm holding deep that no one knows about. I think wasting time is one of my biggest
That's your masterwork.
Are you hiding anything? I mean, do you have anything else going on? Is there another hobby that you do? Not a hobby, but...
No, I pretty much have dumped all my cards on the table.
I can't do any magic, not even nothing.
Yeah. I don't think it was as serious a question. I think you're taking this very...
I'm very upset about it.
I think it was more just a sort of compliment.
Look, I don't like what the subtext.
Dan Schwartz says, I've been on the Andy Kindler mailing list from his website for years, but haven't received a single email. Is my computer broken?
Talk about someone who knows how to pick at a scab. I use it very infrequently, and I always should have used it more. And there's so many things that we will talk about at my retirement party about things I didn't do.
When you've used it, do you feel like it's helped?
Yes, a little bit.
Okay.
I would help more if I used it more.
Probably.
Like, not to the point where people are annoying, but I wouldn't be annoying. And people who use it, like Jen Kirkman, they do very well. It's like almost like an old school good thing to do. People... especially if you do use it.
Yeah.
And you have things going on, which I don't either. So that's the thing. What would I tell people? Hey, it's June.
Sort of just a town crier thing.
Yeah, Andy says, hope you're doing your spring cleaning.
Enlightened Misanthrope says, have you guys seen much of the Zach Galifianakis show Baskets? I've probably watched each episode 3 times each. He and Louis Anderson are just fantastic. I watched the ad for the new season as I wrote this, so I thought I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts.
I love the show, but unfortunately I haven't watched as much as I'd like to. But I really love the show. Martha Kelly's on it, and she's great. And it's small comedy, so...
Yeah, I like it more in theory than in practice. I watched it the first season and then sort of fell off. But I don't know. I mean, I have some history with Louis Anderson, so there's always a little bit of baggage there for me.
Oh, yeah, that's got to be.
But I think it's a great show. I mean, I thought it was a lot of fun, and I thought it was, certainly.
It reminds me of Portlandia a little bit.
Yeah, it has the sort of offbeatness so ingrained in its DNA.
Yeah, so, but I haven't, but again, that's the thing though about how, like, I want to watch the show Barry, but I still can't pull the trigger on it.
It's quite good.
I think maybe you've already told me.
I think that's about the only show I've been sort of.
Okay, I'm going to write that down.
Watching with any sort of.
How many, is it second season?
Yeah. So, it's like, it's like less than 20 episodes to catch up, and they're half hours. I'm
going to do it.
Henry Winkler's great.
The first episode I saw and I loved it. So.
Yeah, no, it's really good.
No excuse.
And it does provide surprises and good twists.
The Kaminsky Method I couldn't stick with.
I didn't see it. But
it was okay. I mean, it was funny, but Chuck Lorre likes if he gets a hold of a prostate joke, forget it.
Forget it. Here's the last question from the esoteric Jacob Jackman. Thoughts on the Belushi-Aykroyd movie Neighbors? It's a bit of an oddity.
I loved it in the movie theater. I loved it in a way like I didn't love it, but I really enjoyed it. But then I don't remember much about it. I mean, I didn't watch it again. And I didn't love it because it's so odd. It's such an odd tone to it.
Yeah. I think I like convinced myself I loved it at the time, kind of, just because it was Belushi and therefore without flaw in my little world. And then I realized it was not that good. And then I think the last time I saw it, I think I came back around a little more and liked it again a little more.
Yeah.
Appreciated Aykroyd a little more in it, and appreciated Kathy Moriarty in it a little more.
I give it a shot. I mean, I remember watching it and being very interested in it because it was so extreme, but watchably extreme.
Yeah. 1941 sucked.
I never saw that.
There was some funny scenes.
Is that Landis?
No, Spielberg.
Oh. Well, like I'm saying that like, oh, well, I'm surprised.
Well, that's our show.
That was our show.
Lots of.
How would you rate it going before you edit it?
Before I edit it, I'd put it at what's our rating system?
We haven't. Maybe we should start that. The one is like a smile.
Yeah.
You feel good,
Okay.
and then that's 10. Big smile.
10
That's
is
1, and then 10 is a lot of pain. No, that's the wrong chart.
Wow.
That's the chart of how sick you are.
I'm closer to smiling than pain, but not that much closer.
Well, I like this show a lot. Who am I fooling? I will know. I can say this. There's no way in the world this is going to be the worst show or an annoying show to edit, in my opinion.
Really?
I've not.
Well, you just lost a lot of credibility, my friend.
Because I haven't edited anything.
No. And certainly never this show.
I would say if you just...
And to say it won't be annoying is folly.
I know, that's right. It is annoying. I just, even me saying it was annoying.
It was.
Well, good luck to you on it.
Thank you.
Anything coming up?
My album's coming out on pre-order on July 1st. It's called Chunks, by the way.
Oh, is this the first time you're
I think it is
announcing
the first time I've said it.
I love that
J.
name.
Elvis Weinstein Chunks.
I love it.
It'll be available for pre-order on July 1st and available to listen to on July 12th. I'm counting on you people once again. Come through for me.
Please. They will. They will.
I think they will.
And I want to
good
announce
people.
that I'm going to really buckle down and get some of these projects out.
Yeah. Well, you got a couple of songs for the show. So.
That's right. I feel so good. Just to be, the fact that I learned how to transfer things.
Life is good.
It's very good.
We're on a path.
Ah!
Rate us and review us at iTunes
Please
if you
do.
would.
Write us a thing.
Check out the new shirt, the Is It Spicy t-shirt at Zazzle.com/thought_spiral. And our other shirts and mug and assorted printed,
And sort of stuff.
printed
Yeah.
detritus. Thanks for coming along on our little spiral this week.
I like that. You had sincerity there. I was going to ruin it, but I think let that sincerity. Let's go out with that sincerity.
Let that settle.
Yeah, because it's real, and without me
Okay, listen to
commenting.
this. Thanks, folks.